You're listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. In this installment, how not to drive your fancy foreign car and parenting tips at the car wash, or it's a small, wet world after all. So you are getting out now. You got to the grocery store.
Yes, I can kind of drive. I drive. Let's say I drive well enough to curse at the tourists.
That's just basic driving where you live, up on by the Grand Canyon. And here they come, the tourists, and here they come.
Oh yeah, everybody's coming to take the Polar Express, or to see snow, or to go to the big hole in the ground. It's a popular place for the holidays.
Oh, yeah, that hadn't even occurred to me that people would want to go to the Grand Canyon for the holiday.
Oh yeah, they're there. They're coming, and they're on their only road in and out of here, which
must be rather inconvenient, I would imagine. Thousands and thousands of cars going, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that.
Well, not that I'm asking for governmental assistance of any kind, but you would think there'd be at least one police officer between the Grand Canyon and the town of Williams, or at least from our road, which is 40 miles to the canyon.
See, I wouldn't want that at all, because I would like them, for example, to be speeding.
Well, but you have the people who are driving on the wrong side of the road because they've never driven in America before.
Oh.
And so they pass on the straight line, and there's all kinds of wrecks, and it's craziness.
Can't your nice neighbors, like your We Pick Up the Highway folks, go, reminder, if you usually drive on the left, here we drive on the right, or just a simple.
Well, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand how they can just walk in and like rent a car.
Same way I can go to England and rent a car, although I wouldn't, because I know perfectly well that I would drive on the wrong side and kill somebody. And by the way, it's very dangerous to travel to a country where they drive on what we Americans, in our American-centric way, call the wrong side of the road. It's very dangerous to even be a pedestrian. I know somebody whose grandmother stepped off a curb in London and looked the wrong way for oncoming traffic and was promptly mowed down by...
Holy cow. That's not funny. But... No, is that an urban myth? Or
no,
really
it was her real live her real dead grandmother.
Well, out here, I know you get your mail from like the people who walk up and down the streets.
Theoretically, here, yes, one hopes sometimes if we're lucky.
Out here, where we're super rural, they drive trucks with the steering wheel on the wrong side.
Yeah.
So that they're driving next to
throwing.
Your mailbox.
Yeah, so they can throw and drive at the same time.
And I haven't really counted, but even with my steering wheel on the correct side of my car, I can't tell you how many times I've hit the mailbox. But that's with the juke.
So you're trying to tell me that you want your steering wheel on the other side of your car so you can see the mailbox and thereby avoid it?
No, I'd rather have a driver.
Like
Jeeves
now,
James,
oh, you with Jeeves. Okay, now it can be told. This is all.
If it's Jeeves, yeah, I could ask him anything.
This is all in service of getting a Rolls Royce that you can sit in the back of. Got it.
Bentley.
No, not recently. Not given the recent flying Bentley of Niagara Falls. You don't want one.
That's true. That's very true.
You don't want that Bentley. What the heck was that? If you're listening to this podcast at some point in the distant future, we don't know why yet, but some couple went to see a Kiss concert, and their Bentley, it was like you remember when your kids had Hot Wheels, and you would send them off this flying ramp like Evel Knievel, flying across the abyss. This car, I mean, I shouldn't laugh. 2 people were immediately incinerated, but this car, there's video from the security camera of the toll booth, and it's like a Hot Wheels car. It just flies.
I don't know how that could have happened.
And nobody knows yet, but
maybe they were partying all day. Rock and rolling all night. I don't know.
I could get the speculator out. but I somehow don't want to. Plus, I read
No.
about them. They're nice, couple that gave back to the community. And I know that people who are staid citizens often have a wild side. You could ask any madam in Las Vegas about the staid citizens who have their wild sides. But,
I've been to like 6 or 7 Kiss concerts in my life.
and
I love Kiss.
that's not my point. My point is, you're not, I mean, even if you had a car that went 173
No,
miles an hour, you wouldn't.
I don't have a car worth blowing up, like a Bentley or a Tesla or one of those
Wait a minute.
blow up cars.
Your
We stay
math
safe over here with Fords.
Your math is very odd. Your car that costs a tenth of what that car is, you don't think that car is worth blowing up, but the Bentley you think is a good prospect for incineration,
Well, I
explosion.
think the higher tech you are, the more chance you have of blowing up.
Ah, yes.
So, and my cars are pretty low tech.
Okay, I got it now. I understand the formula now.
I still don't know how to turn the heat on in the in the new Ford, but it's still like for most people pretty low tech.
Can you talk to it like Siri, like turn the flipping heat on? I'm freezing in here. Can you do that?
Yeah, well, if it's set up like that, nothing's set up yet.
Ah, another thing you'll have to learn.
I just learned how to turn on the seat heater.
Well, that'll do, yeah.
Yeah, so that's good, except it's 63 degrees, so it got warm really fast today.
Toasted butt.
So,
Well, I have a different problem in our car, which just recently turned 195,000 miles.
woohoo!
Yeah. For the last couple of years, we celebrate the change of seasons by twice a year adding or removing duct tape to the right side heating vent because behind the dashboard, where nobody can get to it without spending enough labor to buy a new car, back there somewhere, the heat duct is disconnected. And so, but only on the right side, only on the right side. So, come wintertime, we cover up the right side, the passenger side heating ducts with duct tape and foam, and it stays like that all winter in order to keep, I mean, you don't get any heat, but at least it doesn't blow freezing cold air on you. And so it becomes a little, I'll drive. No, I'll drive. No, I'll drive. Because the driver's side has heat. And here's the thing about people who drive really old cars that are basically bomb proof at this point, because if something should happen to it, you go, okay, well, we got our use out of that and walk away. The problem or the good news, I'm not sure whether you would consider this a good thing or a bad thing, is that you know absolutely everything that's wrong with it, and you've accommodated your life in very strange ways. Very strange ways. Like you'll see people in our family fighting to sit in the back seat so they don't have to sit up front and get cold air blown on them.
I had that black minivan.
I remember that. I
was
do.
fondly
The Darth Vader
the
Deathmobile.
the Libyan Deathmobile.
That was what it
It
was.
was black and it had black windows. It was all black.
Yep.
And I drove that forever. And whenever I went, my kids always wanted to go to the car wash because that's a cheap way to keep your kids entertained. But in this particular car,
By the way, pause
as
right
soon
there.
as-
I would like to point out that both of us come from families where, other parents are taking their kids to Disneyland, and our idea of
Yeah.
entertaining our kids is, look, we're going to go through the car wash. Won't that be fun?
Exactly.
It's a small world after all. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Well, my kids would scream as soon as the water started, battle stations. And they would each grab a towel and hold it up because every window in that thing, including the front,
Mhm.
including the far back,
Uh-huh.
leaked.
Yeah.
But it had like 150,000 miles on it, and I wasn't about to replace it till some guy rear-ended it so hard that
You had no
it
choice.
just kind of.
Yeah. I
I
understand.
got my money out of it.
I
That's
do.
right.
I do understand. When I had a neighbor get mad at me for parking in what he considered to be his shoveled out winter parking space, and he had my car towed away because it had, I don't know, something wrong with it. And they said, you'll have to pay X amount to get your car out of the pound. I just laughed. It's like, you must be joking. Here,
The
it's my
Libyan Deathmobile.
present to you. Here you go. City of Chicago. Enjoy. Enjoy.
The best thing about the Libyan Deathmobile was this little switch, like right next to where the driver sits, and it says exterminate, so that I could like just blast whoever's in front of me or whoever's driving badly, or
That's a
pretend to.
that's a Doctor Who, isn't that's the Daleks.
Yes,
Exterminate,
I would
exterminate.
exterminate everybody,
Yeah.
especially in Chicago.
If we can teach Siri to do that, I'm buying a new car. You've been listening to Turi Writer's She Said What podcast, and you probably know about my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. Now there's an audiobook, so you can have me with you on long drives or short commutes, and you can download it from Amazon. It also makes a lovely gift.